Welcome to the FitBiz Accelerator, your ultimate guide to launching, growing, and scaling a thriving online fitness business. I'm your host, Tobias Young. And whether you're just starting out or looking to take your business to the next level, this podcast is packed with actionable tips, real world strategies, and the insights you need to crush your business goals and build the business of your dreams. Now that you're here, let's dive in. Welcome to the FitBiz Accelerator, y'all. I'm your host, Tobias Young, and today's guest is the ultimate underdog-turned-powerhouse, Josh Clark. And from starting as a diner busboy to becoming a seven-figure sales leader across multiple industries, Josh has not only set records, he's demolished them. And he's about to release a new book, The Ultimate Referral Machine, revealing some of his exact methods that he used to go from rookie to top producer in just a few years. And if you're ready to learn from a true closer who redefines what's possible, then you're in for a definite treat. So Josh, man, thank you so much for being here. We go back many, many years. We used to work together in some of the corporate gyms in Shape. We were a dynamic duo back in the day.
We did.
Could you give us the quick rundown on your journey from starting as a busboy to becoming a top producer among multiple industries?
Absolutely. Yeah. So my journey in sales really did start my interest in sales really started as a busboy. I wanted to basically become a waiter, and that requires a lot of sales ability, and basically you're selling yourself to the customer. And I was told no at a young age that you don't have what it takes. You're never going to be for you. I had an opportunity later on. I got into the gym fitness industry, and I was told I wanted to do sales. I saw these guys making all this money and just interacting with people, and that's been my passion. And again, I was told, "Hey, you're our best front desk guy. Like that's where you belong." I got the interview and was told, "Don't have what it takes. You're not what we're looking for." And I was just persistent. Persistence overcomes resistance, and I finally got my shot and never looked back, and just really went on to just dominate industry. The fitness industry. I think I was in there for something like 13 years, and we worked together for a long time. We were an absolute powerhouse. We crushed it. And just yeah, it took off, and I got into solar and the auto industry as well. And the same thing. It's just when you learn sales and you learn the principles, it really applies to anything.
Yeah, I agree, man. And you mentioned underrated and that you were doubted early on. How did that underdog mentality actually shape your drive and your approach to sales in general?
Actually, that's one of the key things, and that's why I opened up this book that I'll be releasing in a couple of weeks. That's what that first chapter of my book, and that's where my passion was. Is when you're passionate about something, that's a key driver. But when somebody tells you you can't do something, that will really light a fire underneath you. So when I got told that I don't have what it takes, that just fueled me more. Like I already knew I could do it, and I think a lot of it stems from, and I think a lot of salespeople are like this, but at heart, I'm an introvert. So like if I'm not interacting with people or I'm by myself, like I'm not a very loud, outspoken guy. But when it's lights, camera, action time, and I got the customer there, like I can open up and the energy comes through. And so people that have never seen that side of me, they go, "Hey, you don't have what it takes. You're not what we're looking for." So it drove me, and it made me want to do two things. It made me want to just absolutely just show them that I can do it. But then it made me want to go over and beyond and be like, not only am I going to prove you wrong, but I'm going to be so undeniably great that like you're going to look back and be like, damn, I made a mistake on that guy.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. And I noticed that a lot of people that really do well on big stages and things are naturally introverts. I'm naturally an introvert, believe it or not. Like people are like, what the
No
heck?
way. Yeah.
Yes, but naturally, like I enjoy just chilling at the house. I'm low key. I'm not one of those guys that's out there partying all the time. I just like to chill and stuff. And
Yeah.
if I go into a new area, I mean, I can adapt and I can have the outgoing side. But yeah, just like you, man, is I do have that inside. And you've dominated sales in fitness, in car sales, in solar,
Yep.
and a lot more. And what universal sales principles have actually carried over from one industry over to another? And how can fit pros be able to apply those principles to?
Yeah. That's the one thing I've learned is that you can take principles from really any industry and take things that have worked and they will apply. So like when I went from fitness industry to car sales, I did two things. I look at people and what are the top producers doing? What are they doing really well? And so I kind of find out like what's got them to the top, and then I look at what's everybody else not doing. So like what are the average people doing? What are they missing? And a lot of that is just the personal interaction. They're worried on objections, rebuttals, and that's a key part of any sales. But a lot of it is just not making it personal. They're not being authentic. They're not being their real genuine self. And when
Yeah.
you walk in the door, we've all been there. You can feel when somebody is being a robot. They got that script. It's canned. It doesn't come across genuine. So if you could just find out what everybody else is not doing, and then you start being good at those things on top of the objections, it really transitions. And some of the things that would apply to like fitness that I've learned in other industries that would maybe apply to being a fitness coach is just one is communication. Probably the number one thing with customers is they want to be heard, they want to be kept in the loop, they want to be communicated with. So like if you're a fitness coach, like, and I've had this before. I've hired people where they'll give you like, for example, meal plans and workout programs, and that's awesome. Like that's what you need. But if you're not holding them accountable, it's little things like it could be just personalized, unexpected text messages,
Yeah.
unexpected like video pop-in check-ins. Why? Because nobody else is doing it, and that's what sets you apart. Is when you do stuff that nobody else does. That's what makes people remember you, and you're holding them accountable, and they feel like you're really invested in them, and you actually care about them as a person, and that's what sets you in that top 1%.
Yeah, I love that. And it's so true because so many fitness coaches are more focused on, just getting a whole lot of new clients as opposed to like, what can I do special for the clients that I do have? Because then if your clients feel special, they feel appreciated, they're held accountable, they're seeing results, they're going to stay with you. I've still got some fitness clients that have been online with me for 14 years. Well, now it's 2025. So
Believe it.
15 years, right? 15
Yeah. Yep.
years and they haven't left yet for whatever reason. I don't know why.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's just those little things. So I love that, man. And another thing that Fit Pros also rely on is client testimonials and social proof. So, what's your best advice for building trust quickly with new or hesitant prospects?
So funny. What that question is exactly why I wrote my book. Is it all ties into social proof, and a lot of people do that. We have an industry of savvy buyers, right? So whether it's cars or coaches or solar, people are doing their homework usually long before they call you. And
Mhm.
so one thing you can do is how do you get social proof in the first place? And the answer to that is you can't just you can't just go back to your last few customers and ask for like a great raving review if you know you didn't earn it. And so a lot of people hesitate right there because they know they didn't earn it. So you have to earn it. One thing I always told a lot of my teams is if Netflix came to you and said, and they said, Tobias, I'm going to film a documentary on like how to deliver over the top customer service, and you're the coach. Um, you're going to be the star. It starts next week. I bet you would think of 5, 10, 15 things that you would be like, man, I'm going to do this, this, and that. I'm gonna make it even better than what you do now. And people's reaction is always the same. Their wheels are turning. They're like, yeah, I would do this. I would do that. Handwritten thank you notes. I would do it all. And then I always ask people, why the hell aren't you doing that now?
Yes.
And that's the thing. So once you deliver that over the top experience, you're genuine, you're authentic, then you can ask for the 5-star review, the raving review, and that's what people are looking at. And then when they research you as a coach, or if you're in solar like myself, and they see dozens after dozens, they're like, man, this guy or this gal is doing something different.
Yeah, 100%, man. And this is what I also like to tell the coaches too, because some of them are like, well, man, it seems like everybody's dropping off after 3 or 4 months, once that happened. And I say, you know what? If you were getting paid $1 million per client, and all you had to do was just give them such good service and such good results that they stayed with you for 1 year, would you do things differently? And they're like, "Well, of course I would do." I'm
Then
like,
it
"Well,
changes,
why the
right?
hell are you doing that now?" Like, same thing. So I love it, man. I'm from the same
Yeah.
apple as far as that's concerned, man. And
Yeah, you have to deliver like your business depends on it because it does.
yeah, it does, man. And your upcoming book is called The Ultimate Referral Machine. And
It
can you
is.
share one key strategy from the book that Fit Pros can put into action right away?
Yeah, I think one key thing would be just really being authentic, being genuine, And I think that's the biggest separator is there's so many things in sales that you need to be polished at and be great at. But if I had to pick one, it's being authentic. Is people want to feel like you're actually truly there to serve them, and you're not just seeing them with dollar signs in your eyes, and you have that commission breath on you, like you're just trying to make a sale. When they feel like you're coming across authentic, you really want to help them, you're hearing them. Um, that's the one separator because that's what 99% of people don't do.
Yeah. That's spot on, man. And if you love the type of clients that you have, that's why I say it's really important to niche down. Not only is niching down important for your marketing, important for, getting people to be able to hear you, but you attract clients that you freaking love and that you want to
Yep.
work with, because nobody wants to work with, take clients on just because it's a dollar sign. Like, I hate working with these type of clients, but I'm going to take it on. So that's why, like, niche down. Like, who do you love to serve? Like, who's the type
Yes.
of client that you can wake up and you would like, if I had 50 of these type of clients, I would wake up beating my chest in the morning and be like, hell yeah, let's get the day on. So
So true. Yeah. And you do have to be careful with that because you want to niche down and you want to build an army of clients that are your model client because if you don't do that early, when you scale your business and if you have a handful of clients that probably aren't your ideal client, they're going to refer people that are like them and then your
yeah,
business gets out of hand quickly.
yeah, yeah. Or you don't get any referrals because you didn't give
Yeah,
them your
that
all,
too.
which is going to kill you
Absolutely.
too. So, how do you turn current or past clients into, brand ambassadors who organically just bring you new business? What do you do?
So I do a few things. Obviously, when I'm going like in my industry in solar, going through the experience, it's not a one transaction you're done. A lot of times, these whole sales cycle process takes anywhere from 4 to 12 weeks. And so, first of all, I'm wowing them through the whole process, right? And I generally care about whether I was in fitness, car sales. I generally care about people, and that's one of the things that makes you different. So I go over and beyond for them. I do unexpected things, unexpected gifts, unexpected check-ins, but even like kind of like you, I have clients from, 5, 6 years ago in solar that I still do quarterly bill reviews. I still, when I drive by their house, I think of them. So I'll send them a text. Hey, how
Mhm.
you doing? Hey, how's Bill doing? How's the family? How's the kids? And it's little things like that. Cause so many people, when the sale is completed or that initial transaction's over, they kind of forget about them. They get put on the back burner. And if you can just engage with them, right? And a lot of people don't, the reason why people don't do this is they're like, I already made the sale, like, that transaction's over. So, like, how's it gonna benefit me to just follow up or communicate with them? Well, it benefits you because if you really care about them, you just wanna check in with them, and people feel that. They're like, "Man, 2 years later, 6 months later, and he's still checking in. How's your system working? Hey, how are your goals?" Whatever industry you're in, when you follow up with people unexpectedly, it really hits them different, and they really value you as a person, and they like, "Man, this guy's different. He didn't have to do that." And then guess what? The law of reciprocity kicks in, and then they're like, they feel like, "Man, I wanna do something for you," like, or you're top of mind the next time they're at a family barbecue, and, if you're a coach and if somebody was like, "Man, I really wanna get in shape," they're probably gonna be like, "Call my guy, he just checked in on me."
Yeah. I think that when the sale is made, it's not when the relationship ends. That's actually when the true relationship really begins. And that's when you can continue everything. And that's where you build your referrals. That's when you build your testimonials. That's where you build that huge trust factor in there, and you build that. And that's how you kind of get your flow in there. And a
Yeah,
lot of fitness coaches too, they fly by the seat of their pants, when it comes to
yeah.
referrals. So what's one simple system or even just a little process that they can set up today to be able to capture more referrals?
So when you get referrals, you need to integrate that in your process and talk about them. Plant the seeds early and often. Let them know like what to expect. Right, lay out. Here's what you can expect from me. From like if you're a coach, here's what's going to happen, and then let them know that if they do the work, results are going to come. And that let them know that like, hey, like the biggest compliment anybody could ever give you is a referral. Like, hey, whether it's a family member, coworker, neighbor, friend, that's like the ultimate compliment. So if they trust you with somebody that they would vouch their name on, that's the ultimate way to repay you. So if you plant those seeds often, then you're already planning in their mind like, hey, this is what to expect, and then you deliver on that, right? So that's the key point. Then you deliver. Then you can ask for that 5-star review. You can maybe hit them with something unique, a little surprise gift, or do something special for them, and then you've already told them that you're going to ask them for referrals because you've planted that seed, and now you've earned the right to do so. And so it's just really completing that cycle.
Sweet. Yeah. And in fitness coaching too, if we transition to the actual sales process, like you're talking about, you know, clients often say, they can't afford it. So, how do you? I know we're kind of transitioning a little bit, but how do you
Yeah.
recommend handling money objections without coming off as pushy?
Yeah, and you and I have dealt with this a lot in the fitness industry. And honestly, if you want to meet the ultimate closer, Tobias is the ultimate closer. I mean, I remember you would come out of your cubicle and take walk-ins and come in and help. And yeah, you're polished at this too. But the money objection is it's actually the easiest objection to overcome. If you can boil whatever their holdup is, their obstacle down to money, if as long as you know how to handle it, you're probably going to win that. And so a lot of people get confused and they say like if you're in fitness, it's the money. Like, hey, I can't afford XYZ dollars per month. But really, the question is, how can you not afford it? Because right now, if you take out all the, for example, you can all the junk food that they're eating, all the things that they're doing that are going away from their goals. If they eliminated that, for one, that may even be the cost of what the program costs. But then what do those lead to long term? It leads to a life of, first of all, being unhappy, medical bills, ailments, disease, a life of regret. And what's the cost on that? So it's just really it's reframing their mindset and just showing them that paradigm shift. Is how can you afford not to?
Yeah, I love that, man. And a lot of it too is because if you're inexperienced in sales, you focus on money, and you're like, um, well, how about 500? Well, how about 400? Well, how about 300? Like
Yeah.
it's focusing on what's called the cost, right? But what you should be focusing on is the big V, which is the value. And if the value equals more than the cost, then it's going to be a no-brainer where they're going to find a way to do it every single time, right? So if $500 is too much, if $2,000 for a lifestyle program is too much, I bet if you were going to give that person a brand new Mercedes for $2,000, they'll find a way to get $2,000. I know I would, right? So there is
Right.
a way. So it's all about building your value and your positioning and your offer creation.
You know
So
what? It
mhm,
brings up a quick just story that popped in my mind. Back in the gym industry, one of the things that you remember that we had was these guest courtesy cards, and we would kind of find out their pain points. We'd walk them around the gym, put them on the machine, right? Seeing is believing, and then we get them back to the cubicle. And fitness sales was one of those things that's like it was really like a do or die. Like you get them now, or you really hardly ever saw them again. And what came up a lot would be you get the spouse or the money. And so one thing that we did a lot that is what you just talked about is we would ask them something like this. We would say, "Hey Tobias, like I get it that the money is a concern for you. Let me ask you this: on a scale of 1 to 10, um, I want you to rank and tell me where you fit. A 10 would be you absolutely like you are 100% committed to your goals. You want to get there. Those 40 pounds you want to lose. You're going to do anything it takes to get you there, no matter what. Nothing stopping you, whether it's here or the next gym. You're going to get there. And then one would be you're absolutely happy with where you're at now. Where would you rank yourself? And then they'll say like, man, I'm a 6 or I'm a 7. And then we would say 6 or 7, what's holding you back from being a 9 or a 10? Oh, it's just the time, or I don't know when I can fit it in. So now it's the time. And then we reframe it to the time. And so we would say something to the effect of, well, you know, you really only have to be in the gym at least minimum 3 times a week, 30 minutes a week. Surely that's worth some time in your schedule. Wouldn't you agree? And now you're just reframing it. And so that's you're right. It's going back to the value and why are they there in the first place, right? They're not happy about something.
yeah, Josh and I used to role play sales objections like every single day. We would have our
Every
daily
day.
huddles and jam in there. We'd bring the
Oh
sales
yeah.
team in there and like just role play and role play and role play. It was so much fun.
That was the
So,
best time.
what's your obviously value is the key. So, what's your secret to helping clients see the long term value of investing in a high quality fitness program? I know you're not just selling fitness now, but you were amazing at selling fitness. So, what would you say?
Yeah, and I worked at many gyms, and a lot of the gyms I did work at, including Golds, with you, and even before had met you, I worked at Golds for a long time. And back then, we sold the training, and so I wasn't a trainer, but we sold the training, and it was exactly that. It was showing them the value, and a lot of times we did paid in fulls up front. There was no monthly payment plans back then, and so we would just really hone in on find out what that special thing is that's driving them. Do they have a wedding coming up? Do they have a birthday? Are they just finally reached rock bottom and they don't want to feel like this and they've had this New Year's resolution for 10 years and they've never done anything of action that's really really fermented into results. And so it's going back to the value and showing like, hey, why are you here? I can help. I can be your guide. You have to do the work. I can be your guide. And if you're the trainer, then you just, again, it's separating yourself. Show them what you're going to do by these weekly check-ins. These you maybe have check-ins every few days. You have progress reports that go out, but it's really that personal touch that's going to set you
Yeah.
apart. And people don't want to just be handed the script. They don't want just, hey, do this and let's talk in 2 weeks. They want to know, hey, you're with me, you're committed, you're holding me accountable, and that's what people need. A trainer is somebody that they want accountability, and so
Yeah.
if you can provide over the top accountability, people, if they believe you, then they'll believe the results that you're telling them.
Yeah, no, get good points in there too. And I say, hey, if you can overcome these six objections, then you won't have to worry about anything at all in your sales, right? So, and you can do these, all throughout your kind of like your sales presentation, your sales calls. It's MIST. It's an acronym, right? So there's MIISST. So M is
Okay.
the money, which you want to wait till the end. You're not going to dive too hard into money when you're when you're doing the rest, right? You
Yep.
can turn some people off. But then there's two eyes. So there's I need to think about it, which is just a smoke screen for what the true objection really is. Then there's I think I can do it on my own. So you want to make sure why haven't you been able to do this on your own? So you ask qualifying questions to like
Yeah.
overcome it so it doesn't come up again.
Yep.
Then there's two S's. So there's schedule, spouse, and then there's terms. So schedule, obviously. So if we were to make this work, like when are you going to be able to make it in here to the gym, or when are you going to be able to
Yeah.
fit
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
into your routine? At before you get to the end, because then they're already going to say, "Oh, well, I can probably come in, 5 o'clock. I'll just have to wake up a little bit earlier." So when they give you that objection later, "Oh, I don't know if I have time." Hey, don't give me that. You told me you could make it in here
Yeah.
at 5 a.m. You could just wake up a little bit earlier, right? So you overcome all the objections. So just memorize that MIISST.
I love
Money,
that.
I think I can do it on my own. I can money, I think I can do it on my own. I already schedule spouse term. I already said it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
anyhow,
And that applies to every industry.
yes, it
Yeah.
definitely does, man. And your journey yourself, Josh, too, has been fueled by grit. It's been fueled by resilience. And how can Fit Pros tap into that same resilience and drive, especially when they're facing, tough times or those slow months that happen?
Yeah, so you're, no matter what you do, you're going to have obstacles. There's going to be roadblocks that come your way, and no career, nobody who ever becomes a top producer starts off like week one, month one, like it's already happening. And so every a lot of people forget. They'll come into a room and they'll see like who are the top producers, and they go, I want to be like that guy. Like I want to be like that coach. And what they don't see is everybody's hiking that same mountain to the top, right? Those people are just farther along the same trail, and so you just have to put in the work and you have to pay your dues. um it, sorry, go back and reframe that question one more time, tied into the coaching.
Yeah, so I was
Uh,
talking about how your journey was fueled by a lot of grit,
yeah,
a lot of resilience, and then how can Fit Pros be able to tap into that same resilience and drive when they face those tough times or the slow months?
Yeah, so you do have to. The biggest thing is you have to be an ultimate believer in yourself. That's one thing I found out early is you have to believe deep down that you are worthy and you can do it. You'll never outperform your own self-worth. So you have to first believe in your mind that I can do this. And then you have to put in the work, and you have to be willing to put in the work. And um in my industry it's a little bit different, but like in my industry I have to go out a lot and set up in storefronts, and whether it's raining or it's cold or it's hot 113 degrees, like I have to be out there. So same thing in the coaches. Do the things that are uncomfortable. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. and,
Yeah,
and, and it's like that Mike Tyson quote he said about discipline is, doing the thing that you hate to do but doing it like you love it. And that's what it is. It's consistency and just knowing that you have to believe in yourself. And quick story, if I could tell this one really big obstacle I had to overface came from, believe it or not, my own spouse. And so when I transitioned into solar, one of the first things I got was immediate pushback from my wife, and it's not because she didn't believe in me, but she comes from a background of being in law enforcement, steady paycheck, you clock in, you clock out, you have a salary. And so I'm a 1099 contractor, independent contractor. And so if I'm not out there closing deals, I'm not making any money. There is no hourly, there is no base. And there is no plan B. And so when I told her I was going into this industry, I have 3 kids, and it was like, hey, you have to go get a real job. You need to go get a guaranteed a 9 to 5. And a lot of people have heard this. And what I had to do is have that conversation with myself, and basically I had to say I could listen to that and go get a corporate job, or I can push all my poker chips to the center of the table and I can bet on myself. Because if I'm gonna bet on one person in this life, you're damn sure I'm gonna bet on myself. And so I had to do that, and I bet on myself because I knew what I was capable of, and so it didn't take long. It was hard the first year. I actually part time. I had the best year I've ever had. Second year, I'm crushing it already, dominating. And it didn't take long before my wife not only became a believer, she was able to retire, be a stay at home mom. But that never would have happened if I didn't believe in myself first.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And so many fit pros are transitioning online now. And that's what they have to deal with because, the
Oh
spouses
yeah,
are like, well, it's going to be your own business. You need to stay, working for a place and work a 9 to 5 and all those kind of things in there too. And I'll tell you what, my wife, she was pretty supportive because she knew me and she knew my work ethic,
sure.
but it was a little bit questionable. And when I finally, walked into the gym, it's like, you know what, I'm going to pursue my dreams and just go all in on my online fitness coaching, several years back. It was the best decision I ever made. And I just knew like I wasn't going to let myself fail. So, yeah, really, really important. So my Mac shows like it's going to die here. I don't know why. It should be plugged in. Um, but if it dies, then it's,
No, you're good.
yeah, I don't know why it's saying that. But yeah. Um, anyhow, man, you've elevated entire sales teams to be able to be top producing sales teams, right? What's the core leadership principles that other fitness professionals can use to build and motivate a small team when they get to that stage and they're hiring somebody maybe to do the sales, whether that's in person training or whether that's online? So what would you say?
Yeah, so I've always been a big believer in leading by example. I've never taught anything that I myself either haven't done or am not actively doing. And I've seen that so much in my career where I've seen there's been leaders in different industries and they've taught trainings or they say stuff and I know for a fact that they have never done what they've said. And there's something about relating to somebody who's telling you something from the heart and they're like, "Hey, this is what I do. This is what I've done. This is still my process. This works. It's tried, tested, and proven." And so if
Mhm.
you can do that, for one, now you're getting buy-in, right? You're getting credibility. They're like, man, this guy, I know he's doing it. So like, for example, at my work, I'm actively involved in sales. I help lead the team. My partner, or co-manager, Ryan, leads it with me. Together, we lead the team. But they see me consistently top of the leaderboard too. Not only do I do all the sales manager duties, but I'm out there leading by example. So when I speak and I teach, people can see the board and they can go, damn, like obviously he's doing something right. So I could probably listen to him. Now, if I didn't have numbers like that, it would probably be hard for them to buy in. Like
Yeah.
if I'm telling them do this and you're going to crush it, and I'm last on the leaderboard, it doesn't carry as much weight.
Yeah.
So lead from the front. I would say would be the biggest thing.
Yeah, no, that's so important to be able to do that too, because if you're not doing that, then you're not going to be able to train your team, effectively too.
Correct.
So, um, man, let's do some rapid fire rounds. And if the battery dies, I apologize. It's for some reason it's
Yeah,
saying
no
that
worries.
it's about to die. But favorite success quote, give it to me, Josh.
I have to go back. Well, I have two. I like the Mike Tyson, the discipline, right? The doing what you hate to
Hmm.
do, but doing it like you love it. And then Bruce Lee's got a great one. And I don't know if I have it memorized, but it says like knowing is not enough. We must do. And there's a second part to that, but he's got a great quote. Basically, is you can't just have the information. You have to act on it. And I think those are
Yes.
so true.
Hell yeah. Yeah, definitely, man. And do you have a memorable sale or a client success story that just stands out to you at all?
Um, man. I I I have a bunch.
Yeah, I was gonna say you
One
probably
that
have hundreds.
yeah. I have yeah. Probably one. Here's one that I'll use. That I have a bunch that stand out, but I have one that a guy that I met. I used to, I still do. I set up in front of the stores up in Sonora. I'll set up in front, and people are going to grocery shop, and I'll meet him. And I met this guy. Actually, I've seen this guy dozens of times walk by me, and he always kind of blew me off. One day he stopped and talked to me. He's seen me there dozens of times, and finally gave me a chance to come out, sell a system, save him a bunch of money, and what makes it memorable is he went from hesitant, not wanting to talk to me, and then he became a believer when he got his first bill. But one thing he said to me is, I was telling him about my referral program. We had just signed up. He's sitting across from his wife Lisa. His name's Mitch Willingham, and I was telling. So now he's a believer, right? I showed him how much I could save. He couldn't believe his eyes. He's like, I'm only going to pay this. He's like, my PG&E bill is going to go to this, and so became a believer. And I said, hey, I said, here's my referral program. Here's what I do, and I told him how much I offer for a referral, and his eyes lit up, and he said, "You offer how much?" And I told him, I said, "Hey, $1,000 for everybody you send to me." I said, "They got to sign up. You can't just send it to me. They have to sign up, of course." And he looked me dead in the eye. I said, "I'm going to be your number one silent sales partner." And so a lot of people have said that, but to this day, and I probably met Mitch 2 years ago. He sent me something like 16 people that have signed up now. And so here's
Wow.
a guy that went
Nice.
from almost walking by me dozens of times to stopping, and literally he's my number one referral partner.
Hell yeah, dude. That's amazing. That's so cool when you have
Yeah.
clients that just kick ass in there. Do you have a biggest lesson that you learned the hard way going through your sales?
Yeah, I do. And actually, this lesson wasn't one that I learned, but I observed. And so, one thing I've observed is from many people, but I've seen a lot of people, and a couple people come to mind. I'm not going to mention names, but I've seen people make this mistake. They do make sales all about the money. And so, what they'll do is like the gentleman I'm thinking of. What he would do is he didn't have a lot of sales, and he came over to the team. And what he would do is when he would get a sale, because he wasn't selling consistently, he wasn't selling on value. And just like my theory is, hook a lot of people up, just hook them up, like
Yeah.
give them fantastic deals, and then over deliver. And guess what? I'm volume, right? Like they're going to refer. Well, then you have the other end of the spectrum, and somebody who's not in a lot of homes. And so what they would do is they would try to, essentially like sell it for way too much, because they're trying to pay their last 2 months bills, because they didn't have any referrals coming in. And those people go out of business. And it just proves the point that if you try to take care of people, I've always said this, if you take care of your people will take care of you. But the reverse is true. If you screw over your people, or you try to price gouge them, you're never going to run a successful business long term. I don't know if I lost you, Tobias. You've frozen on my screen.
Yo.
Hey, I see you.
Yeah, there we go. Hold on, let me. Bam. There we go. Dude, that was crazy. I don't know why my laptop was plugged in the whole time.
Oh,
And
and it just went out, huh?
yeah, I think it's the power cord thing in there. I don't know what the heck happened, but anyhow, we will just resume in here now. Oh, we're live. Okay, there we go.
So, man.
Part two in the house with with Josh. So yeah, here we go. So I mean, we were kind of diving into your story that you were talking about. Sorry that we lost you guys. The internet looks like it cut out. But if you had one piece of advice to give to Fit Pros who wanted to take their sales to that next level, Josh, what would you tell them, man?
I would say over deliver every damn time. So tell them what you're gonna do, but then over deliver on that. Crush it with the communication, the check in. Um, make it so undeniably great that they couldn't even fathom going with anybody else. That's what I would say.
Yeah, and build it out. So, like I was saying, and like Josh was saying, if you were to get paid $1 million to make
Yep.
sure that your client got that type of result that they needed, and they just, were to stay with you for a year, would you be able to do that? Hell yeah, you do. You do
Do it.
anything you could to make them happy and roll out the red carpet for them. And that's what you should be doing, which is great.
Absolutely.
And what about you, man? Where can listeners find you? Where can they learn more about the ultimate referral machine? And how can they stay connected with you?
Yeah, so I'm on Facebook and I'm on Instagram. My handle is j.w.clark_1. You can find me there. My book will be released on Amazon in approximately 2 weeks. And yeah, search for the Ultimate Referral Machine. You'll be able to see it. It's awesome. It's literally my blueprint. One thing that I've had people watch me in homes, and it's funny because I've trained on this stuff for years. And I had somebody watch me. It was actually my co-manager Ryan, and he said in the home, he comes out and he says, I can't believe, he's like, I've seen you do trainings. I can't believe that what you teach is literally verbatim what you do. He's like, I thought like you kind of like maybe churched it up a little bit. He's like, what you say to the T is exactly what you teach our team. And so that's what the book is. I wanted to be able to take exactly what I do, not some of it, not hold some back, everything I do, and give it away.
Hell yeah, dude. That's spoken like a boss, and you just give pure value. And and this goes to everything too. So like when you're creating lead magnets, free resources, you want it to be something that's going to be so good where they're like, oh my God, like I get this
Yeah.
for free or for this just this much, and it's something that could be, what other people would charge a lot of money
Yep.
for. So any last words of motivation for all those underdogs out there who are ready to prove themselves?
Yeah, man. You just can't take what other people tell you that you are. People want to put you in a box. Maybe it's because they haven't seen that side of you. They don't believe in whatever it is. But you can't let people label you. You have to know what you can do. You have to have the belief that you can do it, and just you have to be persistent. Anything worth having, anything worth accomplishing, is going to be hard. There's going to be roadblocks, people telling you no, setbacks, but you have to know that I'm not going to give up. I'm going to get there, and eventually it will be something or someone will give you your shot. And I've had this happen to me several times, but when somebody gives you your shot, take it, run with it, and over deliver and crush it out of the park.
Hell yeah. And then flex on the map and just be
The
like,
flex
oh,
on it,
let's
man.
freaking go.
Boom.
So thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the FitBiz Accelerator. And make sure that you check out, Josh's upcoming book. Connect on social media for any additional tips. And make sure that you hit that follow and subscribe button in here. And here is your little outro. Thanks for tuning in to the FitBiz Accelerator. If you found value in today's episode, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a tip or strategy to grow your online fitness business. And if you're ready to fast track your success, don't forget to check out tntfitprocoaching.com. Until next time, stay consistent, stay focused, and keep crushing it. There we go. Dude, we made it happen.
Awesome.